everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 77076, Durrr Burger Restaurant from the LEGO Fortnite theme. This set contains 546 pieces, 4 minifigures, and will retail for $64.99 USD, or €59.99 Euro. This set does not officially release until June 1st, 2025, but it was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are entirely my own. Before I get started, I'd like to quickly ask you guys to please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm doing a bunch of early 2025 LEGO reviews right now. I already did Ninjago, and I've got some other Fortnite up on the channel and more coming soon. And then there'll be more themes over the coming days, such as LEGO Dreams, LEGO City, LEGO Minecraft, and more. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more, liking and subscribing does a ton to help support me in the channel, and also helps YouTube to show you my videos more often. So thank you all very much for the support, and now let's get into the review. So here's the Durrr Burger Restaurant, which is very exciting to get. This wave of LEGO Fortnite, unlike the last wave, is entirely minifigure scale sets, including this one. And this is something that, while it's also in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, is from Battle Royale originally. And I don't know about you guys, but while I do love LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, I was definitely a fan of Battle Royale first. So getting anything that is recognizable from Battle Royale in LEGO form I think is very cool. So this is a set that I was excited for. That being said, when it was revealed, I couldn't help but feel that it looked small. Like, this was a tiny portion of the restaurant. You were barely getting anything. Now actually having it in hand, I will say it's bigger than I expected, but still probably smaller than it should be. So let's go through everything it has to offer. Right off the bat, the set has a little bit of modularity to it. The biggest thing is the roof can come off so you can get better access to the interior, so then you can see what's going on inside a little bit better. But that's far from the only part of the set that's meant to come apart, because each little section of the actual building is meant to come off very easily too. So you can see I've got this pillar right here, then this wall, then this pillar, then the door at the front, another pillar, this longer wall with windows on it, another pillar right here, one more smaller wall, and then the final pillar. All of those parts come off separately, and it gives you the freedom to rearrange them on the build however you want. That doesn't leave a ton of room for customization, because obviously a lot of these segments are exactly the same. Like, you could change up the door placement, you could change where the longer wall is, but it is basically a bunch of the same pillar and a couple of the same wall. What I assume this is meant to be is to sort of recreate the building process in the LEGO Fortnite Odyssey game, because you sort of build with sections of a build. You have walls, you have stairs, you have support beams. So once you have these little sections together, it gives you the freedom to like recreate how the building process goes in game. Now, at least as of right now, this is the only set to do something like this. I think this entire thing would be a lot more effective if there was other sets you could mix and match parts with. Because imagine we had other LEGO Fortnite sets that had their own pillars, their own walls, and then you could sort of like mash them up, bring them together. I think that would be awesome. But for the time being, while this is a neat idea, I feel like on its own in this set, it's not the most interesting in the world. This set does also come with dynamite as a minifigure accessory, so that's another use of this. You could like blow the building up in play without fully disassembling it, so it's easy to put back together. But yeah, I don't know, it's definitely very interesting. It makes me feel like there should be more, and there's just not yet. I really wish there was at least one more set this wave that tied in with this, but if we don't have that yet, hopefully there is more down the line. Here's what remains with all that removed. You can see the interior of the Durrr Burger right here, and there's a few things around the outside. There's this little pathway in front of the door, a seating area, this plant that's growing peppers, and like a drive-thru displaying the menu. And all of these sections are meant to be detachable as well, so you can mix and match where they're placed or remove them entirely and just have them off to the side of the build. That does give you a little bit more room for customization, but personally I do like to just have everything together. But now for the time being, let me reassemble the restaurant. Alright, I've got the bottom floor fully put back together, so now let's take a closer look at what the build actually is. The actual design of the walls I think is pretty good. Those pillars help to create some texture because the door and the walls are a little bit inset. I also like how these angled tiles at the top sort of frame the windows, and using the blue window panes to create solid walls down here looks nice. But yeah, it is basically the same general design for all of the walls. This one right here is just a little bit bigger. In terms of the things that are technically separate from the restaurant, we have a pepper plant out here. This is based off one of the little garden plots that you can actually build in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, and this is exactly how the plants look. They use red tooth pieces to be the peppers, which again is pulled straight out of the game. And I love getting things from the game in sets. This is perfect. And you can see there's some fertilizer on the ground too. This little seating area is very cute. There's 2 seats where minifigures could sit. And then the table in the center has a mug on it, as well as a fried egg, which is one of the food items from LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. And then the umbrella at the top is sort of shaped like the Durrr Burger face. They use a classic LEGO phone piece with these newer plate pieces attached to it to create the eyes. And then it's got this tiny little tongue underneath, which is so cute. Then on the other side, here's a close look at the drive-thru menu. It says order at the top, and then here we have all the items. This is some sort of soda. I actually don't recognize that from the game. Then this is the fried egg, this is the spicy burger, and then you can see the spicy pepper down here too, which are being grown on that plant. I will say it was a little disappointing to see that these are stickers, because this is a LEGO game set, and most LEGO game sets do not include stickers. If you think about but Minecraft doesn't have stickers, Sonic doesn't have stickers, and even like the LEGO Horizon set earlier this year did not include stickers. It's just the thing that the LEGO game team typically does. So while the stickers do look perfectly fine here, it's a little disappointing to see. Prints definitely would have been nice and would have helped to increase the value of this set because the price is definitely one of its weakest points. They'll talk about that a bit more at the end of the video. The actual graphics here look great though. Finally, if we turn things around, we can get inside of the restaurant, and there's quite a few things in here. It's somewhat cramped, but there is still enough room to pose minifigures, at least the ones that come in the set. So I think they did a good enough job of balancing detail with the minifigure space. But yeah, right here is the little cash register with a brick-built hamburger next to it. Fairly simple build for the burger, but I think it looks great. Here on this counter is that soda cup that we saw on the sign, and it's actually very interesting the way this is built. That straw is a LEGO unicorn horn in the center of a stud, and you just put a cylinder piece on top of it. I actually didn't know that piece fit in like that. I've never seen LEGO do that before. It works perfectly, though. Here on this wall is the soda machine. And then right next to that, these right here, I believe are meant to be condiments to put onto your burger. Now we can reattach the roof on top of that and take a look inside there, because we do have one more smaller room. This just has the LEGO spider piece inside, which is one of the enemies from LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, so it gives your minifigures something to fight, as well as a crate full of some accessories. There's a shovel, which is used to get dirt for garden plots in the game, which makes sense because they're growing a pepper plant in this set. 2 pieces of dynamite, which as I mentioned, you could use to blow up the building if you wanted to. And finally, a pepper that's already been harvested from the plant. It's the same as the one still on it, though now it has this green flower piece at the top. And this is how it would look in your inventory in-game. Coming back outside, I like what they did with the roof. They alternate reddish brown and dark brown here. So despite being very smooth in terms of shape, there is some implied texture here. And I like how vertical this roof is too. It definitely feels like a fast food building. This orange trim fits in very nicely as well. And finally, at the very top right here, we have the Durrr Burger sign, which is a giant sticker. Again, would have liked for that to be printed because LEGO game normally prints every piece, but the sticker looks perfectly fine. And then the actual Durrr Burger mascot right above that. I will say this Durrr Burger feels a little off-model. His eyes are a little too small, and I feel like he himself is a bit too tall. But we did get the $10 Durrr Burger set last year, so if you wanted, you could replace this one with that one. That one is a good bit bigger, so that's something to be aware of, but it's a lot closer to how it appears in-game. This one, while it's silly, definitely feels a bit off. That's probably just because of the scale they're working at, though. And as you can see, you can pose the mouth, which is neat. There's a look at that, as well as the sign from the back, too. So overall, I like this build. I definitely wish there was more to it. Like I said at the beginning, it's not as small as I thought it would be from the box art, but it is certainly still small. There is no other side builds in the set. All of the side builds are already attached to it. It's like the seating area, the plant, and the drive-thru. But of course, there is one more thing to look at, and that's the minifigures. So let's take a look at them, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything at the end. Now, here are the first 2 minifigures in this set. We have Beef Boss and we have Beach Bomber. Starting with their accessories, they come with some generic weapons from LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Beef Boss has this longer sword, and Beach Bomber has this little dagger as well as a shield. And I think it's cool that these were included to better represent that game mode. However, this is no longer accurate to what's actually in that game mode. The shield is still in the game, but both of these weapons were before like the big LEGO Fortnite Odyssey update that added the Storm King. Ever since then, most of the weapons, except for the most basic ones of the game, have been entirely brick-built. So it's a bit of a shame we did not get the brick-built ones here. I assume that was like a last-minute change, and that's why we don't have them in the set. But going forward, I do hope we get those instead of these, just because they're a lot more interesting. Still, though, it's just nice to have accessories for the minifigures in general. It gives you stuff to do with them. With those removed, though, here's a better look at just the minifigures, and I'm so excited that we have more LEGO Fortnite minifigures this wave. I thought pretty much every single one in the Battle Bus set was amazing, and I was a little disappointed it was the only set to come with the minifigures, but we have 3 more sets this wave that all come with a few, and this is the set that comes with the most, with 3 entirely new skins. Beef Boss especially is amazing to get, because I feel like he's one of the most iconic Fortnite skins. That, like, goofy Durrr Burger head that he has is so recognizable, so he makes sense to be one of the characters that we get a LEGO version of. And they did introduce an entirely new molded head for him, which is absolutely perfect. No notes at all on that. It's dual molded in what is this, nougat as well as dark brown, and that very silly expression that he has is captured so perfectly. They did such a great job with this one. In terms of the rest of the minifigure, it's pretty good as well. Not as detailed as this minifigure in game, but most LEGO Fortnite minifigures are not. I feel like most of the important elements are captured here, though. He's got those metallic silver knee pads, which most early Fortnite skins have, and it's cool to see even in their LEGO forms they still have them. I love the little, like, sesame seed detailing on the one side of his outfit, and the orange and purple is just a very fun color combination. Around the back, there's a strap with some metallic silver armor. It would have been nice to have, like, the side leg printing and arm printing that he has in the game, but this keeps it more in line with standard LEGO minifigures. The molded head was the most important thing, and I'm so happy to get that. I hope we get Tomato Head soon as well, so we can have the 2 together. Something else to note with this minifigure is if you buy this set, you actually get this skin in the Fortnite game for free. Both the actual Fortnite version of the skin and the LEGO version of the skin. You just scan the QR code on the front of the instructions, and then that'll give you a code that you can redeem on Fortnite.com, and then you can just add it to your profile. Every single set this wave has some sort of skin you can redeem in-game, and in this set, it's Beef Boss. But yeah, this guy obviously fits the theming of the set so well, and I have no complaints with the minifigure, so happy to finally get him. After that, we have Beach Bomber, which I think is a bit of a weird choice. We already got Bright Bomber. I don't know if I needed a slight variation on her. I do like the design, especially like the combo hat hairpiece. The pink hair with the black hat looks really good, and she's got like that Bright Bomber logo at the top. The face print as well is a very nice, somewhat neutral expression. I believe it's all new for this character, but that should be useful for customs. Though unfortunately, she does not have an alternate face print, which I feel like she really could have used. Torso design, she's got like this torn crop top at the front with that unicorn on it that Bright Bomber also has. And that continues around the back with a rainbow and a couple hearts. And then I do really like the design of her legs. They gave her shorts so you could see a little bit of her skin peek through, but then at the base of the leg, she's got black boots on. I do definitely think she's the least interesting character in this set, because while I'm happy to get more Fortnite skins, I just feel like we've already had Bright Bomber, and we also had Ramirez in Cuddle Team Leader. This is yet another variant of that same skin, and while I do like it, we've had so few Fortnite figures so far, and this one does have a new, like, recolored part here. If they're gonna put in that budget to give us something new, I would rather it be an entirely new character rather than a variation of something we already have. I guess we do also have 3 Peelies, but that's a little bit different because Peely's like a fully original character. Ramirez or Bright Bomber is just a person. If we're gonna get just a person Fortnite minifigure, I feel like pulling someone new would have been a little more interesting. Doesn't make the figure bad though, I'm happy to get her, and once again, just like Beefall, she is more detailed in the game. She's got side leg printing, dual molded legs, as well as dual molded arm on one side and a printed arm on the other side. But again, I feel like all the important elements are captured here. It's clear who this is supposed to be. I'm glad she got her full hair hat combo piece, unlike the original Bright Bomber minifigure where she did not have her sunglasses. Of these two though, Beefall is definitely the more exciting one. I like them though, they fit in very well with the Fortnite minifigures from the first wave. And then for the last 2 minifigures, we have one more Fortnite skin, Grimey, and then we have just a generic skeleton to be an enemy in this set. Grimey does have a 3rd type of sword, which is different than what the other 2 had, as well as a torch as his accessories, and then the skeleton just has a pickaxe, because that's what they usually carry in the game. Grimey, though, I think is another very weird choice for a character to get, just because he is a rather obscure Fortnite skin. Maybe he's popular, and I just don't know, but personally, I've never really thought about him until this set. At the very least, though, he does have a quite interesting design. In terms of his design, I don't even really know how to describe it. He's got, like, all these little faces flowing throughout his body, and then this sort of like black mask on his actual head. His actual Fortnite skin, not the LEGO version, is actually somewhat cool because these little faces on the body sort of pop in and out, but that does not happen in any LEGO mode, and of course it does not happen on the physical minifigure either, because that would be impossible. Cool to get the black hood piece, I think that looks good, and of course the actual face print's amazing. It's printed on like the seafoam blue color, I'm not sure the exact name of that, and then you can see a few of the faces on the torso that also continue around the back. I will say, I wish they went a little more all out with him, because he's easily the least detailed minifigure in this set. You can see his legs are entirely unprinted, and that's not how they appear in the game. There is still a few more faces that continue down into the leg. I didn't need a ton of detail there, like I don't need side leg printing or dual molded legs or anything, but I think at the very least printing the front of the legs would have been nice. It would have made him feel a lot more complete. And then in the game he also technically has a few more faces printed on one arm. That's another thing where we don't need it, but it definitely would have made this figure a lot more interesting, because he does feel like he's missing detail here. He's a very like monocolor design, right? Unlike the previous 2 where there is still more detail in the game, they still have very complex designs even without that extra detailing, so I don't mind that those parts are missing. But on this guy, yeah, it definitely feels like there should be a little more here. Still cool to get a unique character like this, though. But he is, unfortunately, probably one of the weaker ones of the LEGO Fortnite lineup. And then finally the skeleton is just a generic LEGO skeleton. Cool to get, nice to have an enemy, but it's the same one we've been getting for years and years at this point. Body, legs, and the head we've been getting for like 2-3 decades now. And then the arms were introduced in Ninjago in 2011, and it's been like our generic skeleton since like 2012, 2013. I like that there's actual conflict in the set though, there's an enemy to fight. And of course there's also the spider on the roof of the set that I already showed you. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? I like it, but it really does need more in pretty much every department, or it needed less in terms of price. Because yeah, $65 for this is not what this should be. When I first saw pictures, I thought it looked like a $40 set. When I built it up, I thought it felt like a $50 set. €60 or 65 USD, there's really no justifying that. And that's a real shame, because I love the LEGO Fortnite theme. I thought the first wave was incredibly well priced, and the other 2 sets this wave honestly aren't bad either. This one's just an outlier. If there was like a huge minifigure selection, I wouldn't mind the size of the build that much, but only 3 feels like about what this should be. The minifigures themselves too are good, but they're not amazing. Beef Boss does have an all-new mold and I think he's amazing, but the other 2 are just either not super interesting or missing details that I think they need to look really good. And even like the functionality in this set I think is a little underwhelming. The modularity is cool, but I wish there was a bit more room for customization because most orientations of this feel exactly the same. And I wish there was other sets available that could mix and match parts with this one, because while some of those side sections sections like the seating area or the plant can connect to the smallest set of this wave, the main Durrr Burger Restaurant, those parts are basically only for this set. That same system is used in the smaller set, but you're not really going to want to mix and match those parts because it's only used on this tiny cave. So that does potentially become more interesting in the future, but for the time being, it's not the most exciting play feature. So yeah, I think it's an alright set, and if you're a huge Fortnite fan, there is things to enjoy here. But honestly, if you want a bigger LEGO Fortnite set, I'd recommend saving up a bit more money and going for Colombo, because Colombo is amazing inside and out. This one leaves a bit to be desired. I am just happy the LEGO Fortnite theme is continuing though, I love all of these sets. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which summer 2025 LEGO Fortnite set I should do an early review of next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!